Night Gallery was an anthology TV series that ran from 1970 to 1973. It was hosted by Rod Serling of Twilight Zone fame. While The Twilight Zone leaned more towards science fiction, Night Gallery leaned more towards the horror genre. I think The Twilight Zone was one of the best television shows of all time. If you're looking for a follow-up to it, or just curious to see what else Rod Serling has done, then you come to Night Gallery.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Night Gallery.
But if you're expecting Night Gallery to be anywhere near as good as The Twilight Zone, you'll be sorely disappointed. It's been said that Serling didn't have the same kind of control he did over the show as he did on The Twilight Zone, and didn't contribute to as much of the writing, which may explain why it didn't have the same level of quality. But there is one thing that makes it worthwhile, and that is the pilot episode, which is actually a full-length feature that aired in 1969, before the series officially began airing a full year later. So I like to think of the pilot as its own separate thing. It's divided into 3 stories, the first being The Cemetery starring Roddy McDowall, who you might know from Fright Night or Planet of the Apes, if you ever knew it was him under all that ape makeup and prosthetics. Here he plays a man who's waiting to inherit a fortune from his rich uncle.
Seeing that my mother was the major beneficiary and I am her sole survivor, well, that would mean that everything would come to me.
The man's not dead yet. Do you suppose you might stifle those great expectations of yours till the body's cold?
He basically murders him, and the uncle gets buried in a family cemetery that's right next to the house. On the wall, there happens to be a painting of the cemetery that's 100% accurate. So accurate that he can see the vengeful uncle rising from the grave. I saw this as a kid, and it scared the hell out of me. And to this day, I still think the idea of the painting showing what's happening is a great concept. The second story is called Eyes. This one is about a mean old rich woman played by Joan Crawford who's blind. All she wants is to see, if only for a day, so she pays a man for his eyes.
I want to see something. Trees, concrete, buildings, grass, airplanes, color!
It may not sound like that great a plot, but the build-up and the payoff is excellent. How did this episode come out so well? Perhaps because it was directed by a young Steven Spielberg. That's right, before Jaws, there was Eyes. The third story, The Escape Route, is about a Nazi war criminal running from his personal demons. This one's not as great as the others. Beyond this pilot episode or feature film or whatever it is, the only episode of the series that really sticks out to me is The Little Black Bag, because it stars Twilight Zone veteran Burgess Meredith. The plot about a futuristic medical kit that gets sent back to the past isn't so interesting. It's the performance of such an incredible actor that makes this one a must-see.
I have no idea. There are some men who topple from grace. But I was shot down into the depths like a projectile. From a man of medicine to a panhandling wino with perpetual winter in my bones.
And also, we have a very odd performance from his friend, played by Chill Wills.
Everything you make, we're gonna split 50-50.
I don't know what this guy's deal is, but man, is he funny. So when it comes to Night Gallery, those are my recommendations. See The Cemetery, Eyes, and The Little Black Bag.